But, as representatives of the men's division, from our perspective, Jimmy, he was truly an amazing man. He had courage and he was undefeated, and even in the face of death, he claimed his victory. When we first learned of Jimmy's cancer, as an organization, we thought, wow, what an opportunity for this guy to grow. Let's ask him to be a district leader. And then I thought, I don't know about that, because maybe is that kind of cruel on one hand? A guy's got cancer and he's got all these problems, and we're going to go up and ask him to take on leadership. So we did that. So we went to Jimmy's house and we visited him. We started talking to him about this leadership, and we had a conversation. And then he started telling us how people had expectations of him standing up and taking more responsibility in his practice, and that this would be a good time to do that. But he also mentioned that he had a different point of view. So he let us know in no uncertain terms that he felt that he was completely okay with the way his practice was going, and that he didn't want to be some kind of damn leader. And so we thought, maybe this isn't a good time to talk to him about this. But we didn't give up, So we continued to approach him on the opportunity. And then finally, one of our men's division leaders, Gary Brown, who's back there in the back, he convinced him that this would be a good idea, and Jimmy agreed and accepted the position. And I feel like, it was truly a turning point in Jimmy's faith. Missionary Daishonin writes, quote, "Strengthen your faith day by day, month after month. Since you slacken in your resolve even a bit, devils will take advantage." Then our president says, "If we backslide in our faith and fall victim of negligence or cowardice, even a little, we create an opening by which the devilish function can enter and try to destroy our faith and foundation of our happiness." So, Jimmy didn't do that. He took on the responsibility. So 3 weeks ago, Richard and I visited Jimmy in the hospital. He was very alert and he was very strong. I shook his hand and, he was thin at that point, but he was still strong. He had a really strong hand grip. I thought, wow, that's pretty good for somebody that weighed 107 pounds, And, and he had a lot to say, He said, he was happy to see us, and he told us that he was completely okay with death. He said, "I got my friends here, I have my family here, what more could a man want?" And he did mention, though, that, that he would like to see his daughter. He would like to be around long enough to walk his daughter down the aisle. And then so I asked Jimmy about his district. I asked him if it would be okay if we appointed a men's division named John Diana as a vice district leader. And he thought it was a great idea. And he continued to talk about his district and what contribution John can make. And he was reporting on all the positive aspects of his district and how great he felt about the future of the district. So, I thought, wow, what an amazing transformation from a guy who didn't want to be damn leadership. And here he was talking about the future of his district. He also stated that, he was so confident and content in his demeanor that, during this time, that it was encouraging to me, And during no time during our conversation did he think, did he lead on that he thought that he was going to die. In fact, he was talking about, getting his alternative treatment as soon as he had this pain thing pump put inside of him and so forth. And as soon as he was released from the hospital. So, there truly was a transformation in his practice, I believe. And when we heard of his death, I found it really hard to believe because, considering the vitality and the spirit that I just had witnessed a few weeks earlier, I was kind of shocked. I didn't think it was his time, So, I believe Jimmy won in all aspects of his life. He did his human revolution. He expanded his life state, and his determination to continue to challenge faith, death even, it was just unbelievable. So, Jimmy won. He truly won. he died victorious, courageous, and a happy man.
Yep.
He wasn't concerned about himself. He was concerned for the happiness of others. And as a Men's Division, I just want to thank Jimmy for his many contributions, and he will not be forgotten. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Richard. I'll keep it short. Before I talk about Jimmy, I have 3 things I want to share about Jimmy. Number 1 is his strong faith. Number 2 is his giving hope to other people. And number 3 is strength. But before I talk about that, I want to share about how amazing his family, his whole family, so courageous. You know, in Buddhism, death is one of the highest devilish function that will basically discourage anyone from the practice. You know, even the founder, Nichiren Daishonin, talk about that. And the Walter family, the Banner family, to them, that's just another devilish function. It's not the highest ever. And I got so much encouragement from Mrs. Water, his mother, and also Norita. And just looking at Shara, just the day after the father passed away, and she came here and supported an activity. And it's amazing. I mean, and then the way that Jimmy lived his life, and the way he died, in fact, to be honest, that's how I want to die. You know, facing death with no fear. And I want to share this. This is what the founder, our SGI founder, had to say about faith. You know, before I said that, I forgot, I want to say one thing. When I first visited him, when he was diagnosed with the cancer. Right away, I want to go see him and support him. Because 20 years ago, Mrs. Water supported me and my wife. My wife was going through some serious illness. And Mrs. Water chatted with us, and then through that support, my wife overcame it, the serious health issue. And I'm like, wow, this is my chance to really return my debt of gratitude, you know, to the Mrs. Water and the family. So I visited Jimmy the first day, and this is what he told me. You know, he said, Richard, you always occur to me like a fanatic leader. You know, and I don't want to be part of that. I said, Jimmy, don't worry, I'm not coming here to tell you to be a leader or anything, or how should you practice your faith or anything like that. I just want to be here to support you as a friend. And ever since after that, I come month after month, you know, for the last 18 months. And, you know, I thought I helped him, but the reality is, he actually helped me. I learned many lessons from him. The 3 lessons really stand out, and I want to share about that. So the first one is about faith. You know, even though he did not tell me what faith is, okay? But he proved with his life, till the last moment of his life. So our SGI founder, Daisaku Ikeda, shared this about faith. Faith is to fear nothing, to stand unswayed, the power to summon any obstacle, and Jem did it, including that. He faced that like nothing. And about his giving hope to others, you know, I want to share this because I was sick for many years. You know, so that was the beginning of my recovery. I was still very sick. And I want to, you know, our founder said that, you know, the one way to overcome your own health is to visit somebody that is also sick. And I didn't see a point in that because, you know, how do I encourage him? Because I'm sick also. But after 2 years, or close to 18 months, I realized that's so true because, and this is what our founder had to say. A person who, no matter how desperate situation, gives other hope is a true leader, and that's Jimmy. Jimmy gave hope to me. Whether we take action for the happiness of others, we feel a renewed energy and a sense of connection to our deepest essence. As we continue this effort over time, our life acquires an increasing sense of expansiveness and strength. And that's how I felt. After 2 years, I felt strong. I felt like I almost recovered my illness myself because Jimmy gave me hope. And last thing about his strength. Every time I'm with Jimmy, there's something about him that I cannot quite pinpoint. Even though he was in pain all the time, but he's happy, he's contained. I'm like, what's going on with him? You know, I expect him to be miserable and despair. But the reality, it was not that. So I have to find something, I want to find out what our founder said about that, And I found this. President Kennedy said this: strength is happiness. Strength itself is victory. In weakness and cowardice, there is no happiness. When you wage a battle, a struggle, you might win or you might lose. But regardless of the short-term outcome, the very fact that you continue to struggle is a proof of your victory as a human being. And I think James did exactly that. Even though I cannot be at his bedside, the region team was meeting at that day, about 8 o'clock. John called me, and I completely forgot about, that Jimmy was dying. So I kind of returned the message, said, I'm busy right now. And after a while, we realized, oh man, this might be a serious one. So I called John back, and then we decided as a region team, all of us decided to send him off with strong daimoku. We chanted over 30 minutes. And I believe Jimmy, if he's not already reborn, he's already somewhere. And he's going to come back as strong bodhisattva of the earth and continue our battle for world peace. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.